What's up, everyone? This is Gabriel, the ProActivator, and you're tuning into the ProActivators Podcast. This is the place where we crush procrastination, kill bad habits, and build state-of-the-art leaders. Here, we don't wait for change, we create it. A ProActivator is someone who takes decisive action, eliminates habits that hold them back, and replaces them with disciplines that elevate their lives and those around them. Every episode, we dive into the mindsets, habits, and stories of people who have mastered their faith, family, fitness, finances, and leadership. So let's get activated and let's welcome Mr. Ty Turner. What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you? Thank you for that.
Very good. And by the way, this is Mr. Ty's birthday. So happy birthday, brother.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
You thought I forgot, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. No, I know you got me.
All right. So I have a few questions for you, brother. But before we dive into it, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background?
Okay. So I'm originally from New York. I've been moving down south for, like the past decade now. So I started off when I first moved, I moved to South Carolina. And then after that, I moved to Georgia and just recently moved to Miami, and I'll definitely say I've been doing, sales for a while, progressing in that. And then also I'm really focused on my fitness journey and, just being the absolute best I can in that. As far as my fitness goes, I'm looking to compete in the next few months for a natural men's physique competition, yeah.
Okay. Now, when did fitness become more than just working out for you?
More than working out, I'd definitely say it was about 4 to 5 years ago. I realized that fitness is something that was really important to me. I think for every guy, you as a bigger guy, you always want abs, So when I was younger, that's something that I've always strived to have. But then as I started getting older and started working out, I realized that, I'd make some progress and I would dial back a little bit. And then I realized what one of my issues was consistency. And then I realized that I was very consistent and not being consistent. So at that point, I'll definitely say I looked myself in the mirror and I told myself that I will figure this out. I will keep going until I figure this out and I won't stop. And I never looked back, and ever since then, I've just been trying to feed myself everything I can to achieve the physique that I want or, the fitness level that I want to be at.
Can you pinpoint the reason why you made that decision in that specific moment of your life? Like, do you remember exactly what triggered it?
I was fed up with myself. I was fed up with myself for sure. But I definitely say I have a lot of things behind me. So for example, I'm the oldest. I have 11 brothers and 3 sisters. So I have to lead by example. I know that I didn't have the best example, when I was growing up. So I want to give them no excuse as to, no matter where you come from or what situation you're a part of or whatever it is, you can make it out. And I think the first thing that people see is the first thing that people are going to look at is how you look. And I think that's going to tell a story before anyone even gets to know you, so just really focusing a lot on just achieving myself to be, for one, in a comfortable skin, because I feel like when you're not happy with your body, that translates into other things, and so I took the discipline. I took the chance. I took the risk, and I wouldn't even call it a risk. I just took I made the choice to just make this the rest of my life. I want to live a long life. And I think we all should be able to enjoy that life. And, you can have many things, but if you don't have your health, you can't fully enjoy it the way that you would imagine,
Yeah. Okay. Bro, 11 brothers and sisters.
Yes, sir.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Your parents didn't have any TV or something?
No breaks were made. No breaks were taken.
Wow. Okay. So tell me a little bit about how do you think about stepping into competition?
I'll say I had someone put it in my ear at one point that I had a good physique And at that point, I couldn't see it for myself. So, I think as I continuously grew and grew and grew into my physique, just looking at looking at other people who do compete, you start to think, and then you start to really realize that you might have something, and so I went with that. I was like, I might have something, but as I kept eating and kept working out and session by session, week by week, I'm like, okay, like I can see it myself now, and I'm the kind of person that I really want to see how far I can go. I really push myself to my limit and see where it is at that limit that something might change for me, or what it is that's gonna get me past that, because I feel like the people that compete, I mean, I know people who compete and take dieting seriously know how tough it is to stay on track and to really be disciplined, and that's what I want. I want to be very, very disciplined, and I mean, you get the most out of discipline. Discipline is a form of self-love. You hold back so that way you can get the result that you want.
Wow, that's pretty good, man. What does your current daily fitness routine look like?
So I'll say like, I train about 5 to 6 days a week. I have my traditional lifts. I have like my chest and shoulders, back. Then I have like my legs, and then like I kind of repeat it, go through that, and then I always do cardio. Cardio is a necessity. Always have to do cardio, at least 30 minutes.
What kind of cardio?
My love-hate relationship with the Stairmaster. Yeah. So I do Stairmaster, and I feel like that's the best one to preserve as much muscle mass, but also burn the most calories. Yeah.
Okay. I just recently picked up walking, I will say in the past month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I was told by many influencers that walking was a really good form of preserving your muscles without and burning your midsection.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is that accurate?
That is totally accurate. I mean, I think that's one thing that's super underestimated is walking, and I genuinely love walking. I like to get up and go on walks in the morning, just to kind of start my day off slow, be present, and really just taking the sun and just be in that moment. But walking is phenomenal, though. Yeah, I mean, nice. I think walking is great. That's another great way to really, like you said, burn fat and low intensity, and it's great.
Nice, awesome, brother. Now, what were the 2 or 3 biggest changes you had to make to get to the level you're at now?
My mind. Your mind is the absolute first thing. You have to make a decision, and we do it all the time. I think I think we don't really realize the decisions that we make that shift the way we do things permanently, I really do. And I would say another thing I had to think of is, what do I want? What do I want long term? What do I want for my life? What do I want to be able to give to others? And what kind of leader am I going to be? It's a choice. If you want to have strong people behind you, you have to be a strong leader yourself. So, and I would say definitely my mind and just my reevaluating my wants.
So your mind shift. What kind of shift did your mind have?
I would say had a shift of values. I value my life. I value my health. I value, my family. I value the way people see me, as far as like in progression in my life. Even like yourself, like when we first met, I just, I spoke to you, and you saw something in me, and that allowed that made you want to offer me to bring me here. It's just the way I carry myself. The way I want to present. And show people that I am a positive force. I'm a strong force to be a part of, So, yeah.
Let me ask you something, Ty. What values did you have before? So what did you change from?
Self-love, I would definitely say, is one of the biggest values. You don't realize, I think we really underestimate the things that we do that are harmful to us when we don't have self-love. We let we let other people, change our minds. We let situations dictate, why we can or can't do things. But I think that all really just kind of goes back to what you value the most and what's important to you. And if it's important to you, then certain things are going to tower over little situations or little distractions and things like that. That's going to deter you away from your goal.
Well, I guess my question is, what did you change your mind from? Like, what is it that you used to value, and then you changed to the new values? Like, what is it that you used to do before that you completely walked away from? Because I want people to resonate with how you used to be, what you used to be your values, to your new values that you just explained a while ago. So I just want to know what did you used to value before, so that people can resonate with what they're going through right now, because they might say, "Oh, yeah, I value that right now. Maybe I need to have a mind shift." So what did you shift from?
Got you. Okay, so I would say the things that I probably valued before, or maybe even just not valuing enough. I would say like I valued my life, but I would say I value my health, but just not in the capacity to where I can help others. But I'm just trying to think. I mean, because I don't really think I was intentional. I was not very intentional.
Well, you probably value comfort.
Comfort, yes.
Value comfort. Procrastination.
Yes, I would definitely say that's a form of, yeah.
So yes, we mostly value things that are not good for us.
Right.
And then we make that mind shift, and then now we move towards things that are better for us.
Absolutely.
We make a decision.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Now, what was a moment that was there a moment you wanted to quit? What kept you pushing through?
Oh man, there's been many moments, and they still come periodically. I don't think that ever stops. It's the bigger picture. It's the bigger picture. Just knowing what you want. And setting and letting that override everything that you're feeling, and understand. And I think people have to understand what their feelings are. If you understand what your feelings are, you know that you can overcome them, because you know that your feelings are just gonna. I think naturally we don't want to do things. Like we want to sit at home, we want to just go relax and things like that. But then how are you gonna feel after you're supposed to have been to the gym? You're supposed to not have that cookie, or you're supposed to eat your meals. So it's just like knowing. It's just like it's self-respect and yeah, it's just like just knowing. Yeah, sorry, I'm just thinking right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. All right. So a form of you, I guess, denying yourself.
Yeah.
From your wants, and just pushing through what your deepest desires are of achieving your goals.
Right.
So I'm thinking that what you're explaining is you're saying no to yourself.
Yes.
You're saying no to a lower form of desire for a higher form of achievement.
Absolutely.
When you say no to that cookie, when you say yes to the gym.
Right.
Okay. Sounds good, man. Now, how do you mentally prepare for competition or intense training seasons? Have you competed? Did you tell me?
I was 4 weeks out, and then my living situation had changed, so I wasn't able to properly cook all my meals the way I wanted to.
Okay.
And then I was also getting ready to move. So that it was just there was a lot of moving parts at the time.
Okay, but so you almost got there.
I was
you almost
there.
got to
Yes. I was 4 weeks out.
How is that? How does that work? How does somebody sign up for something like that? How do you qualify? How does that happen?
Well, I mean, I have a coach, so I have a coach, and he pretty much prepares people for competitions. And you just have to sign up. You sign up, and as long as you pay, you're able to get in. But it does take time. It takes like preparation to get ready for the show, though. And that is, I really feel like with that, you have to make a hard decision, like a hard decision, and just know that you're going to be laser focused for the next few months, and you're going and you're gonna complete it. Yeah.
Walk me through that laser focus. What does that mean to be laser focused? Tell me.
So it's like, I mean, how I start my day, is just with positivity and reassuring myself of where I'm going. And I think that right there,
that's part of the process.
Absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely. And I think that right there for me, I like to get up and feed myself some good information. But I think that for me definitely sets the tone for the entire day, because it's like you then are able to realize any distractions that are trying to take you off your path. So making sure that I'm mentally prepared for the day, making sure I have all my food, and then also just preparing for the moments in the day when I know how my body's going to react, and just subsiding that. Like I'm already presetting these things before I enter my day, so that way when these things do come about, I can just get right past it and I'll be fine. And then for my workouts, it's pretty intense. I like to just zone in and like to be at peace. I like to get my flow going. And the cardio, I used to do an hour of cardio during that time, hour of the Stairmaster. So that was pretty intense. But I mean, you just keep going. You just keep going. The bodies are made to do whatever the mind tells it to. And there's been many times on the Stairmaster when I'm like at 45 minutes, I'm like, how am I still walking? But then you just realize that your mind and your goal and where you're going, your body is following. Just know that your body's gonna follow you wherever you are mentally prepared to go, and you'll get there for sure.
That's the clip right there, brother.
Yeah,
that's a viral clip right there. Nice, man. Tell me how this. Do you do this in the morning?
Yes. Well,
how does that look like?
I mentally prepare in the morning. I have to train.
How does that mentally preparation look like? Is it a video that you watch? Is it a mission statement that you read? Like, what is it?
So I have this phrase that I say to myself every morning. Basically, that just for me, it feels like it empowers me to create my future. But then I also listen to a book or a podcast, to start the day. And I feel like it's either reassurance or something new that I'm learning, or it's even something that's gonna give me peace for that day. Give me peace. Maybe something that I might have been going through the day before. And I don't believe in accidents. So like, I was even listening to something this morning, and I felt like it was just what I needed to hear to help me like be calm and be in a calm state. So I'm either listening to something, and I talk to myself. Because, your body responds to everything that you say. No matter in what capacity it is, a joke or being serious. So I talk to myself, I put good stuff in my body and my mind. And and sometimes I have this book that I read. And so it's it doesn't have a lot of words. So like it's like short sentences, it's like short paragraphs. And so I'll read about 2 or 3 of those, and I won't read too much because I don't want to mess up what the message might be. So I really kind of sit on those for the day. And that even helps me just think about more things all throughout the day.
What do you say to yourself?
So the phrase I say to myself is, I am a being of the violet fire. Oh man, you put me on the spot. Hold on 1 second. I am the being of the violet fire. I am the purity God desires. When I say that to myself a few times, I just get this feeling in my body, and I feel like that is just the good spirit working through me, and I take that with me.
Can you say that again, slowly?
I am a being of the violet fire. I am the purity God desires.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good, bro.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Thank you.
Nice. And then, but the crazy thing is that I think that the power that holds is that the more you say it to yourself, then the more you believe it.
Oh man, that's 100%.
Once you believe it,
that's it.
It's over.
That's it. That is literally it. And I just had a conversation about that yesterday. It's your reality is what you believe it to be. Like no matter what it is, and your perception of reality is your reality. And Dr. Joe Dispenza, he talks about this, a lot. And it's just the power of the mind. And I really think that when you shift what you see or what you want to see, then things, either doors start to open up for you, or even you just start to see things more like in a better way. That's if you want it to be that way. I really, that's one thing that I am like huge on, is just, if you feel like the world is against you, it will be. If you feel like everything is good, it will be. It's what you give your energy to.
I remember years ago, I came up with a phrase, but I'm sure that this phrase has been around for many decades or years, right?
Right.
But I was able to understand something. Whatever you think about, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Exactly. That's it.
And that's huge.
Yeah,
because
man.
It's true.
That is so true.
Yeah.
So true.
It also takes me back to when you said that somebody put a seed in your mind of, hey, you have the type of body that can accomplish something significant in the bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like you started to believe it. And then when you started seeing the results, that belief just became more solidified.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
That is 100% correct. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, because to be very honest with you, it was almost, now that I think about it, when he told me, that's it. I mean, to hear that and you're not in the best shape, that's someone being able to see something for you. It can sometimes be something that you want for yourself, but for someone else to see it at a point where you can't, that's all you need, is that little bit of belief, that little bit of like this is something I've always wanted to do, and somebody can see it without me actually, achieving that goal yet. Like that is just enough. If you can ride on that and let it grow, I mean, it's just like what God said, have a faith of a mustard seed, right? That's it. That's all it takes. It's belief.
Right. Okay. Definitely, man. Now, let's talk about a few habits, struggles, and breakthroughs. What were some of the hardest habits to break on your journey?
Cookies. Cookies, man. And I even say, like, I just recently had to cut myself off. I would just say cookies is really like my main thing. And I think as I started going through my journey, I would really get strict on the things that didn't help, So I mean, like I would really like start to value what goes in my body, and I think when you do that, I think when you start to really value the things that go in your body, you really just make I don't know. Tell me your question one more time. I'm on track.
Yes, the hardest habits to break.
Hardest habits to break. So I would say,
you said cookies.
Cookies, yeah, that was yeah, that's definitely one of them for sure. But I would say just allowing other people to like dictate my decisions, because I felt like I had to be there. I realized that I wasn't there a lot for myself, and I think that's a habit of just not valuing yourself enough. And I would say another bad habit that I had to overcome was I'm trying to think. I mean, because I feel like I've had to overcome a few things, but I was just so driven that.
What about like waking up early, or maybe you used to wake up late? Like, was that a bad habit that you had to break? Or maybe watching too much Netflix, or I don't know. Can you think of any other habits that you knew you had to break in able to give room to this new you that you were, because you had to give up stuff.
I'd say the video game. The video game was definitely one of them. And also you mentioned watching Netflix. Those are two it takes so much time, and you don't even realize how much time it takes away from you until it's hours later, and you realize you spent 4 hours on the. And I mean, like, when I say it's easy to spend time on the game, it's so easy to spend 6 to 8 hours on the game and not even think about. I mean, like, the day will pass and you won't even know, So, and I mean, like, you having fun, but then you realize that that's if let's say you play for 4 hours, that's 2 hours that you could have taken out of that time to go and do something for yourself. You mentioned waking up. I never really I've always worked early, so that part wasn't like too hard for me, because I would just have to maybe get up maybe like an hour earlier just to go for like a run in the morning, just do a little cardio. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I would definitely say like the game was one for me. And I think once you get so deep into like working out and realizing you got to work out, work, and do other things, that kind of just goes out the window. I don't even play the game anymore.
But was there a point where in your process of doing the changes where the game was right there calling your name, complaining?
Absolutely. Yeah, many times. I mean, it sits in my room, so it's right there. It's just like ready to be turned on. But it's just like I don't think you know what's good, and I think when we sit there and we think about it and we contemplate, that's what makes it a little bit harder to make that decision to break away. But you know what you got to do, you just go do it. You don't think about it.
Did you feel like you were giving up the community? Because I'm sure that when you do gaming, there's a little community that you're a part of, people that are expecting you to play with you. So was it hard to give up that little community?
You know what? I'll definitely say that was a little bit tough, because like I have like I really play with my family, and family I don't get to see very often. So like I have family and cousins in New York and Pennsylvania and things like that. And I don't get to talk to them, but it's like, what exactly am I getting from this? I have these aspirations, I have these dreams, I have these things I want to do in my life. I have a way I want to look, a way I want to be. Is sitting down playing the game for 4 to 8 hours a day gonna get me there? What am I getting from the game? 1 and 2, from the people that I'm sitting talking to. I love my family. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love them, to the end of time. But it's a time and a place for certain things. We've had our time on the game. I enjoyed that time. I was present. But now it's time for me to, move on and make things happen. And you might not understand at the time, but time will come and you'll understand then.
That's deep, bro.
Yeah, man.
Very deep. Very good. The fact that you had to give up not just the gaming, but the community. And the fact that the community included some of your family members.
Definitely.
That's tough. Okay. Yeah. But you have your aspirations.
Absolutely.
And let me ask you something. So you normally become a part of another community. So what community are you a part of now? What people are in your circle that pretty much are helping you in your journey?
I would definitely say the people I allow in are only ones. I mean, like, my community would be people who are serious about the gym, people who are serious about their lives, and people who are either doing things to get on track or are on track to getting to where they want to be in life. Or even just, success, and people that, to any success that we would consider. I find people who, have, a good fitness track, or, good financial, family life, just like the general things. If I can see someone in a good model, I would associate myself with that person. But as of right now, getting up to that point, only people that are progressing, that are like really serious about their lives. And I think when you get to a space when you really are focused, you're able to weed out the people that aren't very very serious, or and so I mean, I have some really good friends that have a lot of great things going for themselves right now, and I'm extremely proud to say that I'm proud of my friends. There's been time. I come from a time where I was not aware of the reality and the things that I was creating. So to be in a space now, to have a strong community, my strong community behind me, is a great thing to be proud of for me. But I'll say most of it is going to be the gym community. Like, okay. It's like you have to be in the gym, and that's just what it is, like, yeah, that's it.
Nice. How long did it take for you to find your new community? Because obviously you detach yourself from this community, mm-hmm. and now you're doing different things. So for a while there, you were probably a little bit homeless. Mm-hmm. You're not hanging out here anymore.
Yeah.
But now you're hanging out here, but you don't know anybody yet. How long was it until you started acquiring some of those friendships that were edifying and pouring into your life?
Okay, so I would say it took about 2 years in just getting in the gym and just getting that gym community, But then I would say it's been about a year that I've allowed people to influence me, as far as my community, because you can be in the community and be around a lot of people who do the same thing. But again, for the direction that you want to go in, there's only certain people you can allow in, And so I would say it's been about a year since I've actually like my trainer now, the trainer I had before him, I would say I did my own thing for a very, very long time, and then when I wanted to get to the next level, that's when I allowed in, some other people who have more experience and expertise in that area.
Nice. Okay. That's pretty good stuff, brother.
Thank you, man.
Good stuff, man. I think we're going to have some good clips. Let me see. What do you tell yourself on those days when nothing in you wants to show up?
Who else is going to do it? Who else is going to do it, and who else is going to take you there? Who else cares about how you feel right now? Does your future care about how you feel right now? Can I look in the future? Can I look back at myself and be thankful that even though I didn't want to do anything that day, I did it anyway? And honestly, you feel so much better when you do things, when you do good things for yourself, and you don't even want to. You feel much better by the end of that session or time or whatever it is that you're doing. You certainly feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, has fitness ever exposed weaknesses in other areas of life, like discipline, relationships, mindset? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, man. I mean, I would definitely say because when you're really consistent in the gym and like really making progress, you understand that you're like in a mental space that requires like a discipline, and requires like repetition, and requires things to help you see progress. And I think when you start to realize that, you start to then look at other areas of your life naturally, so whether that be relationships, finances, things like that. You just have, I think for myself, I had to say to myself one day, like, there's a lot of energy that I put into the gym, and there's a lot of focus and like precision that I put into that. And that same energy could be transferred to another area of my life that can help me progress the same way I'm progressing in the gym. It's where you put your time and energy, Yeah.
Nice, bro.
Yeah.
Another viral clip right there. Nice, very good. Yes, I definitely believe that the gym and going and being in your fitness area, you have to tame the body in that one area.
Right.
But if you learn how to tame the body in that one area, then now you have the knowledge, the know-how in how to tame your body in other areas.
Absolutely.
It takes the same thing. You're denying yourself pleasures to acquire something bigger. In other areas, it's the same thing. You just have to deny yourself those certain pleasures to acquire a different level of relationship or finances, spiritually, so family. So yeah, definitely that's gonna go viral right there, brother.
Yeah, no, and I think it's great the way you said it too. Denying yourself pleasures, because a lot of people. I think some people would look at, denying yourself as like you can't have it, but it's like there's something so much bigger and so much greater at hand, that that something that your body is used to feeling, or a little small sensation that you're gonna get from just spending that dollar or going to get that snack or something like that. Like there, I know for myself, like I think about how much I want something after I know I've been holding out for it, and it's like a reward for me. I think that makes it so much more valuable. And it's not like you have to take away the pleasures, because you can still have those. Just do it in small quantities, so that way it's more valuable to you. And then you're able to still make a tremendous amount of progress while still having what you want. It's about the balance. You really got to have balance. That's one of the keys in life, I feel like, is balance. You gotta work hard, but then you can also enjoy yourself too. That's the whole reason for working hard.
Yeah. I think that what you're saying is that everything that you do in life is about being a good steward and a good manager.
Absolutely. That's a great way to put it.
So you learn how to be a good manager in your fitness life. And now that you have that knowledge in how to be a good manager in this one life, you learn how to manage yourself, okay, how to oversee what you're doing, what to say yes to, what to say no to. And you're overseeing yourself in that one area. Now you can shift those same management skills that you have acquired into other areas of your life. So
Absolutely.
You can manage that life, that area, like you do in your fitness area.
Absolutely. 100%.
For example, budgeting your money, budgeting your time, right? And working on your relationships with your parents, with your significant other. So, and how to manage those relationships. If you are a believer, how to manage your relationship with the Lord and get better in those areas. So that's pretty good, Ty.
Yes, sir.
Very good, deep stuff, brother. All right. So what advice would you give someone who's stuck and feels like it's too late to transform their body or life?
It is never too late. It is never, ever, ever too late. There's been multiple millionaires that have made their millions who have just started their success in their 40s or 50s, There's been multiple millionaires that has acquired lots and lots of money before. They acquire lots of money, they lose it, and then they make it again. But they make it again in their 40s and 50s and on, and then they're able to sustain that because you learn something and along the way you learn how to keep it. I will never say that it's too late, because I just seen a clip the other day of someone that was 70 years old graduating from college. If you believe it's too late, then it's too late. If you don't believe it's too late, you can make the world out of the rest of your life. You seriously can.
So it goes back to mindset.
Mindset, absolutely, 100% mindset. That's where it all starts. Is the mind. It's what you believe. What you believe to be true is.
How hard is it for somebody in their 50s who's overweight, who has acquired and carried many bad habits, obviously, throughout their lives? How hard do you think it is for them to acquire a new mindset so that they can move into a better direction in their fitness?
So for someone someone around 40s or 50s, because I'm not actually there yet, I can speak to what I know, right? And what I know is that it can be as hard as you make it. I think that there are a lot of things that's quite a few decades of decisions and a lot of things like that. But just know that they didn't get to that point in their life where they're not happy. They didn't get to that point in their life that they're not happy because of the decisions that. It's like I know what I'm trying to say, but they got to that point not having control of their thoughts, not having control of the things that they wanted to go their way, and not giving their energy to the things that they probably should have. I think it will be kind of difficult, but I think if you're in a place where you feel like you're not happy, anything you start to implement to change, you'll start to see that change, and that's going to be better than the state that you're in currently. Mm-hmm. So I think that no matter what age group you're in, if you want better, the little things you start to do to make things better are going to be better than your current state. So it's and then you just have to feed that. You have to give that more energy. Like, if someone that doesn't work out, I went for a walk today. Be proud of yourself for going for that walk, because that's progress. You do that every day, you're going to keep feeding off of that. And then eventually you get to the point to where you're walking 5 to 10 miles a day, and you're in a completely different place in mental space and state and physical state than you were when you first started. So I think that goes for anyone, is your mind and just having the want and actually taking the action.
Oh, that's pretty good, bro. That's wisdom right there, brother. Wisdom.
It.
Preach it, brother. Preach it, Ty.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me see what else we got here. Let me see. If you had to start from scratch today, what would be your first 3 moves?
That's a good question. I would definitely evaluate what I want, why I want it, and then what is the feeling that I feel? What is the feeling that I'm looking for when I get to that point? And then it's just a decision. You have to decide. You have to decide that if what you're doing is what you're going to be doing, you have to do it. And like preset your mind to hiccups. Because there are going to be many hiccups in the road, but those are the things that's gonna really make the difference, make or break you. I think those hiccups are like the learning points, the wisdom that we acquire along that time, because it's like we hit a bump in the road, then I can share it with someone else and tell you how to get around it before you even encounter it. Yeah, so I would definitely say just reevaluating my wants and evaluating like the way I want to do. What is the feeling that I'm looking for, and then making a permanent decision to achieve this goal and to not let anything stop me from getting to that goal.
Especially yourself.
Absolutely, and that's the biggest thing, is yourself.
Yeah. What you said was pretty good, pretty spot on the fact that mentally prepare for when you are going to sabotage your own progress.
Absolutely.
You know that you are going to try to sabotage your own progress. Prepare for that.
Absolutely.
So when the time comes, you already know what to do.
Absolutely.
That's powerful.
Yeah, very. I mean, and it's just like, you're breaking away from your old self. Realize, become self-aware. Become self-aware is huge, because when you're really self-aware, you can start to pick up habits. It's like you're watching yourself from like third person. You're picking up your habits, and you see what you can try to identify the things that trigger you to want to feel certain things or want to do certain things. And intentionally, you got to be intentional. You have to be intentional about these things, so that way when these situations come about, you can make a new decision. When you make that new decision, you're literally creating like a new brain wave to start to acquire this person or whatever different that you're trying to do. You know, the intention, definitely.
Nice. Okay. Um, so let's go here with a few more questions to close out. Now, do you understand what a proactivator is now? Then, since we've been talking a while, yeah.
Yeah, someone that is proactive and I just said it to myself yesterday. Someone that's basically proactive in getting things done.
Okay. Yeah, because that was one of the questions that I had here. What does being a proactivator mean to you personally?
Getting ahead. Being a proactivator really, for me, like I like that word because it really it really kind of like it makes you think. It's like being proactive, and then just staying ahead and really. I had a word I was looking for, but just to keep it simple, for me, I would think that that's just being driven, and just keeping your eyes on the prize and really being intentional about where you're going, because when you start to make decisions that are getting you on that track.
Nice, bro. That's pretty good. Well, you did the the birth of the proactivator was to be proactive,
Mm-hmm.
but also it comes from the Terminator.
The Terminator.
So the Terminator was determined
Right.
to eliminate the the mission, to complete the mission.
Right.
And so much so that from the movies second and on, they made the Terminator the good guy.
Right. Yeah.
They can't have a Terminator if he's getting terminated in every movie, right?
Exactly.
So they were able to. So yes, determination, focus on your goal, and those are things that you just were able to describe. So it's. Do you feel proud to have that label?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the fact that you saw that in me is I'm humbled, and I'm very, very grateful for that. So thank you.
Well, as of right now, I believe that you have other levels of proactivating to acquire, and so we can sit down in a year or two to see where you are in other areas of your life.
That would be phenomenal.
Yes, because a proactivator in one area is good, but a proactivator in multiple areas is what we want to achieve.
Yes, sir.
To have those moments where we know that in every area we're striving 150%. Laser focus.
Absolutely.
In making sure that we have our finances in order, our health in order, our family life in order, our spiritual life in order, mental state in order. And also another area of the proactivator is somebody who is a given person, who has acquired. That happens. It doesn't have to be somebody who has a financial freedom. It can happen now, but if you have a good track record of being a giver, who not just gives money but also gives his time to service, then that's also another area of a proactivator. So, all right. So, when can people find you, follow your journey, or ask for help?
So my Instagram is Ty Turner, ty.turner_. And and on TikTok it's tyfit23.
Nice, man.
Yes, sir.
Nice. All right. A final word of encouragement to someone who's battling their health right now.
As hard as it may seem, you have to tell yourself that you are going to overcome whatever it is that you are going through. And that is in many aspects of life, health being one of them. Um, you know, I've come across a few people, just a quick story. I've come across a few people, my mom and a friend of mine that had suffered a herniated disc. I also had a herniated disc in between that time. And I feel like the biggest difference between me being able to bounce back and being able to lift regularly was my mental state. Is I told myself over and over and over that I was going to be healthy and I was going to be fine, and I was going to be able to do everything I wanted to be able to do again, and also embracing the feeling of what that feels like. Your body truly listens to things you say, how you feel, what you think about, and what you think about the most forms your reality. So instead of focusing on the pain and the state that you might be in, focus on the state that you want to be in, and that's the direction that you will go. Yes, yeah, that's what I would say. And believe. Not only tell yourself, but believe, and feed yourself that feeling and immerse yourself in the feeling of feeling amazing, because we can heal and we can heal ourselves. And I believe when you believe that, things will start to present themselves to you to help you heal, or get back to a happy state, get back to a state that you want to be in.
So mindset primarily.
Mindset and faith.
Okay.
Mindset and faith. Mindset and faith. You got to believe. You have to.
Mindset and faith. All right. Well, Ty, thank you so much for being here with me. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And we'll have our next episode coming up. But for now, stay proactive and proactivate your life.
Yes, sir.
We're out.
All right.
Nice, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you.